Hiya, welcome back to Scundered with me, Teresa Livingstone, the podcast about embarrassing stories. I am extremely excited today. I've got two beautiful guests with me, and let me introduce them. They are a collective and they are individuals. So I've got Nuala McMenamin, I can nearly say that, Nuala McMenamin, and Virginia Mendez, who together are known as the Hype Queens, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. I've met Nuala once, maybe a couple of years ago now, doing stand-up. So Nuala has done, she's graced the stage as a stand-up comedian, but she's also a personal stylist. And Virginia is an author and a coach and lots of other things as well. Together they are the Hype Queens, and we'll find out why. But welcome, Nuala and Virginia.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. You look beautiful. I tell you, there's nothing more pressurised than knowing that someone who is a stylist for a living coming to do anything with me. I was in the toilet there just being like, is it too late to go to Primark? I'll just nip out and go and get a new outfit.
It's not true. I am always more self-conscious of what I'm wearing. Because I think people judge me. It's like, you're a stylist?
Oh, you're a stylist.
Like, honey, what have you got on you?
It'd be like me saying, like, I am a Weight Watchers coach. They'd be like, are you?
Or like, I'm a comedian. It's like, why aren't you funny? Like, obviously you are. But I mean,
goodness.
do you know what? I mean?
Someone did say that to me. I was doing my show so we've got off topic straight away. I was doing my show in Glasgow last year, and I had like family members and stuff come to see me who'd never seen me do comedy. Mm-hmm. And I had done the full hour show, like blood, sweat and tears, got off the stage, and I was sitting having a drink with some of them afterwards. And one of them just went, I have a good question for you. Why comedy? And I was like, well, you've just watched it for an hour, and if you're asking me that, I don't think it went very well.
Whoa.
He's like, why are you doing this? I was like, I don't know, actually. Don't know. But thank you for the confidence boost.
Wow.
But anyway, so yes, I met Nuala doing you were doing a stand-up course, and there was like a showcase for that at the end.
Yeah.
So you got up and did... it was probably about 10 minutes of material back then. And then I was there to perform on that night as well.
And
I remember you very clearly because obviously I didn't know you before then, but you did come across, your stage presence was really, really good. And that's half the battle for anybody trying stand up or anything like that. So have you done it since?
No.
Oh, great. I went that night.
I went down the high, Teresa. I was just like, I was really good at that. That'll do. That's me done.
Undefeated. Exactly. I retire.
Exactly. That's actually, Virginia and I both did that comedy course.
Oh, did you, Virginia?
Yeah. It's just, I think, but there was the other session that I was not part of, like some
okay.
You did, but I think we did for the group that we were part, we did like a small session.
So performed for each other?
Well, we performed for some friends as well, but it was like a very safe stage.
Yes. It's still nerve-wracking though.
Oh my God.
More so actually, if it's people you know, you are a bit like, oh.
I was more nervous that night than I was in the accidental theatre, because I think, I don't know, strangers are maybe more forgiving, but whenever people know you in a certain way, it's just like, flip.
Yes.
I did it then a couple of times after.
Oh,
I did it one in for Hobby Horse with
yes.
Lucy.
Yes, we love Hobby Horse.
We do.
Which again was terrifying, but you think like, okay, that's a good crowd that they're gonna be understanding. And I did it for like queer event one night, and again I think all of the 3 times it's the fear. I just can't explain. It's like an out of body experience of how scary it is. And I do talking. I go to schools and I do conferences and I do things. Nothing.
But this was totally different.
Yeah, and people ask me, "Will you do it again?" It's like, I don't know if my nervous system can take it.
Oh, seriously?
It just feels terrifying.
I get what you mean. When you were doing, did you enjoy it while you were performing? Or afterwards, did you sort of go, actually, I really enjoyed that?
Oh, yeah. I think it's just the
build-up and the fear before.
And I think it depends, I guess, on the stage. I think with Hobby Horse, because I couldn't see the people.
Yes.
Just because the Mandela Hall is so...
Oh, it was one in the Mandela Hall as well?
Yeah, and it's just like the light.
That's a big crowd for your second gig.
It was very short, but it's just the light is in your face, and I could not see anybody, and because of the sound, the acoustic, I couldn't hear them. So you don't know if anybody's laughing, and you're like, am I just talking here?
This is great.
Am I just talking here? And the people are like, no, not funny. I think it's different if it's a smaller and you see people laughing and you feed from their energy, and then you just get a little bit more comfortable. And just there's 2 minutes before when you're like, and then you got there, and then people respond, and then you're like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I can do that.
A lot of people would say, like, once you get out on stage, once you get your first laugh, then you kind of relax into it. It's that sort of build up is, it is all consuming. But I'd love you to keep doing it. We need more women doing comedy.
So you told us not to after we did our sets.
I told you what not to do.
Yes, you did. And the accidental theatre, you were like, weren't they great? They can never do it again.
Oh, yeah,
it's only me and Emer Maguire. We're the only 2 female comedians allowed in Northern Ireland.
That was a wee joke.
It was brilliant.
That was a wee joke.
So funny though.
No, we do need more. Because I'm always interested in why people stop, because a lot of people will maybe in a self-deluded way keep going sometimes regardless of how well it's going. I think we all sort of maybe stop too soon.
I just think you have to have a bug for it.
Yeah.
I actually did like this time I was on stage in the Accidental Theatre because I am a natural storyteller.
Yes.
So I went back to that, and previously on the course I was trying to try different styles of comedy to just try and push myself out of my comfort zone, and I wasn't funny. So it wasn't. But naturally whenever I'm telling a story, like I've decent kind of cadence, I know how to land a joke, so I just went back to that format for the set that you saw me do.
Yes.
And also Emer Maguire coached us before that as well, and she was there that evening, and I was feeding off like the crowd out. They were laughing when they were supposed to laugh, and it was just like, this is class.
Yeah.
And then I come off the stage and Emer gave me a high five and she was like, you were amazing. And I was just like, yes.
But that is the
delighted.
trick. It's not trying to be like, oh well, that person's funny when they do this. It's like finding your own authentic funny voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's I love that, and it always comes across. You know, whenever it is naturally, that's what that person would. That's how they're funny in real life. Yes, excellent.
But I did the course to just try and improve kind of stage presence and confidence. Moreover, actually being
a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, 'cause it's a whole other thing. Like, and kudos, Teresa, fair play. I don't know how you do it. But like just the vulnerability and like the timing and like you're a musical comedian as well. Like, holy flip, like that's just unreal.
Well, funny, I was talking about this with another episode. There's a real advantage to having been on a stage before. So I think it is one of the most overwhelming things in the world. If you've never been on a stage and spoken in front of people in any capacity, even, I know you're saying it's totally different, but even if you're used to speaking in front of crowds, there are people who've never piped up in a group. Never mind that. So to overcome, so you're already at a wee bit of an advantage if you're used to being, and I did used to be like a music pub singer type thing, but I never really got very much attention. I'd be very much in the background, you know, but so I was used to doing that in front of people, but I was not used to telling stories or doing material. So I didn't for a really long time. The first couple of gigs that I just did songs, and I would really lean into not speaking. I'd just be like, and I did it as a sort of a character, like telling the audience to shut up. It's like, shut up is the second song. And I would just do the songs, and then I gave myself quite a bit of time to build up that sort of confidence to even walk in front of the piano. Like, I'd never have moved from behind the piano for the first like year or so. So I had a wee safety blanket, you know. I had that as my little, because that's where I feel comfortable if I'm just standing behind a piano. Yeah. Teaching as well. Something to block things with, you know, when you're being they're throwing things at your head. Yeah. But I'm going to pour us a wee drink. Actually, I've realised that. So the Sober Irish have provided us with some non-alcoholic drinks. And I actually did quit drinking last year. Mostly. I did stop drinking last January and for a good couple of months, and then I occasionally would have drank if I'd gone on holiday or something like that, but I have pretty much stopped drinking, and I have a real bugbear, or not a bugbear, but I love finding new drinks that aren't crap, you know, like new non-alcoholic drinks that aren't crap. So and I have tried this one before, it's very nice. So Nuala, can I interest you in, what do we have here? We have Fritzy, which is a sparkling Sauvignon Blanc. We've got a Pinot Bianco and what beer's this? We have a beer. A beer? I just got reading glasses. I can't read. It's a lovely beer. So, but they're all really, really good. So
I like the sounds of Fritzy. Like, she's a cheeky wee number.
Fritzy. Let's have. And Virginia, you're good with water?
I'm good with water.
Okay, even though it is non-alcoholic. But look, I've got us some wee fancy glasses and everything.
You're so cute.
Look at us. Oh.
Now you're glad I'm staying with water.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Well, Scundered. So I am
Scundered for you.
There was no drink in it. It's just smashed. Do you know the way on this podcast I talk about being clumsy? Well, there it is actually. So, and this is why I'm drinking non-alcoholic beverages.
Fair.
No, but this is really nice. Hang on. We're okay. I'm just going to move one wee more. If you're not watching this and you're listening to it, I just smashed a glass everywhere. So, I've got another glass. It's okay. Yes, thank you so much. But I'll put this here and I'll just, if you hear a little crunch, it's me just standing. It's smashed glass. Well, do you want me to pour this or it's just I'm going to like throw it over somebody in a minute? Oh, look at this. Right.
I don't actually drink fizzy drinks.
Do you not?
So no,
well, you can have the wine if you like.
I like the sound of it.
Yeah. Always celebration. Now that I'll
just be like burping down the microphone for the rest of the session.
Do you know, I never thought of that actually. Cheers.
Cheers, Teresa.
Very gently. Teresa, don't smash. Can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. Yes, I can. So, there you are.
Delicious.
No, it is nice.
It is.
I can't. Yeah,
it's nicer than Slur.
Oh, it's definitely nicer than Slur. I know.
It feels like a grown-up drink. Like.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. It does feel because there's only so much Diet Coke I can drink. If I'm not drinking, you do get to be a bit. What was I going to say?
I'm glad you did. I feel more relaxed.
Just glass it over your head and be like, welcome. You're all very welcome. So let's talk about the Hype Queens. Mm-hmm. So is this a relatively new venture? Okay. So explain to me. I've looked at the website and everything and I'm fully in, but explain to me what it is.
Delighted. So me and Virginia have been friends for years. Virginia qualified last year as a coach. I've been doing styling for a few years and literally had an epiphany before Christmas. I was like, who do I like working with? Like, who would I like to work with more?
Yes.
And actually, side story, we're both working on a screenplay as well.
Oh, wow.
And we do work really well together. So we go on like Zoom calls and work in a live doc together. And it was just like, we just have really good synergy and energy.
Yes.
And also, we're both self-employed.
Yes.
And we kind of keep each other going. Some days just like, I can't even today. Like, it's tough. And then it's just like, right, what do you need? It's just like, right, come on, we're doing
that's
this,
amazing.
This is like, okay, come on, we've got this.
And
like we just do that for each other.
Yes.
And then it was just like, I literally had an epiphany. I was just like, we need to do this for other people. It was just like, let's like hype other people up. Other people need this in their lives. Because I don't know, like life is a wee bit difficult right now. It's kind of hard to kind of show up and be present and like push forward for yourself. And like particularly as women, I know men aren't getting it easy either, but it is difficult. And it was just like, right, come on, what can we do? And then we just sat down and hatched out a plan. And Hype Queens was born.
I love it. I had written down here, hang on a wee second, I had a little... Oh yeah, so this was like on your bio, on your... Just dropping her drink over.
It's why hard to drink out of.
You're 100
glass.
You're 100%
this glass
my
makes
person.
No sense.
I know, I'm sorry. It is. These are difficult to drink out of. Actually, they are hard because it's scallop. You go there and the drink comes out that way.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Like, that was not my fault. That was the glass's fault.
Virginia, we're going to have to make you do something clumsy now in a second.
I'm so sticking to that water and just that mug.
Oh my goodness. So, sorry, I was about to read your wee bio. Your bio from Instagram is the Hype Queens exist because women are not short on talent or potential. They are short on permission, perspective and practical tools that stick.
Yes.
Listen, when I say that resonated with me, there's something really big there about permission. Mm-hmm. And that's very much me. I feel like for the last, I'm now just going to get some free therapy. So I've been doing comedy for about 10, 12 years now. And I think I've spent the first 10 or 11 of those years waiting to be asked to do things or thinking, oh, I probably should, I wouldn't do that because people would think you're not successful enough, you're not experienced enough to do it. Mm-hmm. And it's something, I don't know, I know it's not just me. There's maybe something about my age group where we're all kind of conditioned. I'm obviously over 40. Mm-hmm. But women particularly, I do think, are very held back by that. We spend a lot of time, because you read about this as well, don't you, in like the corporate world, like women not going for a promotion because they don't think they're ready to do the job, whereas men are sort of like, oh sure, I'll just go for it and I'll get there eventually. Would you see a lot of that as a coach and things like that, Virginia?
Yeah, but mostly, so my main work, or at least the lens that focus all of my work, is on feminism and gender equality. So I wrote a book it's called Childhood Unlimited, and it's about how early that conditioning starts. And it starts literally the moment we get a scan and we know if it's a boy or a girl, and we start projecting, talking about it very differently.
Yes.
And it has an impact. So it touches things like neuroplasticity and how stereotypes work and how overly present are everywhere. And I think sometimes the problem is that whenever we tell women we don't lean in more, or we don't do this enough, or I think we forget to explain them why. Because then what it adds, sometimes it adds to the blame. It feels like, oh, it's me.
I should be doing more.
Why I'm not going for, why am I just making myself a smaller? And I think it's important to also understand that there are bias that they do punish us. So there's likability bias. So sometimes when women do push themselves out there are consequences.
Yes.
And I think if we don't tell that part of the story, then we are blaming.
You're not helping the situation.
Yeah, you're not helping, because I think it's important to understand, there might be consequences, but these are the consequences of also not doing it.
Yes.
So I want you to go to make decisions and live your life with all of the context. Like, this is how we are conditioned. This is what you're carrying. These are the consequences. That's the way the world sees you. And now with all that information, then it's up for you to choose your heart.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to keep carrying? What are you going to say, like, look, to be honest, that it's helpful for me in a way, or this is what I want to be, or that I'm grateful, or this is like, no, I know this is going to be hard, but I want to just completely dismantle those thoughts for me. And just, so I think it's important to understand that wider context and that why.
And do you think it takes time for people to be able to kind of shed that and take for you? Like, it's not something you can just go, right, I decide now that I'm not going to think like that anymore.
And I think depends. I think sometimes some changes are very fast. Sometimes awareness is like, oh, now that I've seen it, I cannot unsee
yourself, sort of.
I think sometimes you haven't seen something and then you see it very clearly and you're like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
And then you cannot unsee it. And once you can unsee it, then change it. It's almost inevitable. Then you change in a way that comes very natural from you. And other times you are unlearning and you just learn to like, oh, here's this thought again. Or, oh, wait, we've been here before. So I think there is, mostly because it's unlearning. I think a lot of, and we are unlearning not only things from our experience, but things that have been replicated everywhere. So it's very easy to go back to those ways to do things, because there's the ways that the world keeps showing you everywhere.
What were one of those things? That's really interesting what you're saying. It starts like basically before you're even born. What are some of those things that happen when you're really young that sort of reinforce that idea that because if you're a girl, for example, that your experiences are slightly different?
Well, there's lots of them. So if you think about the main things that tell us who we are in the world from whenever we're growing up. Whenever I was writing the book, I split it in books, language, the media, and even things like clothes.
Yes.
So if you think, for example, a very easy one would be clothes. The way we dress kids from the moment they're born is extremely different, even if their bodies are very similar, especially in toddler ages or babies. And it's not only the colors or the motifs, or it's just the comfort of it, the way, the shape. So we tell girls from very, very early ages that being beautiful is more important than being comfortable or than being warm. And it's that idea of what are we praised for? Or the words we use, we tell girls, be careful, way more than we tell to boys.
Oh, that's interesting.
People Google, is my son gifted? Way more than is my daughter gifted, but they Google, is my daughter fat?
Oh my God.
More than it's my son. So it's those things. Like we have those perceptions, the way who are the main characters in the books, who gets all the speaking roles, who is the predator and who's the prey, the way they are. So it's just everywhere. Yeah. So it's not one thing. And because all the things keep telling the same story, those ideas get embedded in us very quickly. And our brains learn. The way our brain works is it's based on experiences. So our brains are very plastic, and even, you know, Tetris can change your brain. Like people that plays a lot of Tetris, you know, their brain change, mindfulness, all of our experience in life just give us all that idea of the most trotted path.
Yeah.
So whenever we create extremely different experiences for boys and for girls, and then they become different, we're like, it's nature.
Of course.
They are naturally different. It's like, but are they naturally different, or are we socializing them and conditioning in their difference more than what makes us the same? Like, are we pushing more we are very different more than we are all human and we all need these skills and we all need this representation?
And like you say, once it's those things that once they're pointed out to you, you can't stop seeing it. And I remember seeing a clip of Reese Witherspoon talking about she was pointing, this was because obviously she has a production company now, and she's a very, very successful businesswoman as well as an actress. And she was talking about the amount of female roles in films where it's always a woman saying, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
And I'd never noticed that before, but it is really interesting. It's one of those things where you're like, oh my God. So it's always a female character going, what are we going to do? What do we do now? And what was on the other night? Something terrible was on the other night. Oh my goodness. What do you call it with Steven Seagal? That awful film. It's so funny.
I don't know.
The one where he's the chef in the Navy, and
I mean, Steven Seagal's enough.
I don't even know.
Under Siege. And there's he has a woman sidekick who was in Baywatch, and she just spends the whole thing just going, what? Where are we going? What are we doing? And I was actually entertained by it because it was so blatant. But you're right, and it does, even if we're sort of looking at it in a funny way, it does feed into how you think about yourself.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And I really feel that at the minute, and it's maybe more so over the last couple of years, I think, when women get into their 40s, and I'm talking about clothes and everything as well, you kind of lose yourself a wee bit in some ways.
But we're told to.
Because,
you know, like society has conditioned us to be irrelevant. Like after a certain age, it's like kind of post 30.
Yeah.
We just like decline in relevancy, apparently. And actually that's why I love the work that I do, because I do specialise in working with women late 30s and beyond.
Yeah.
And helping them kind of come back to themselves and use their clothes as a tool to express themselves and show them this is all available to you.
Because it's so powerful, isn't it, Nuala, that it's not, because it might feel to some people, like, oh, it's very superficial. It doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, but the way you dress informs how you feel about yourself
100%.
An awful lot. And it's something that I struggle with massively, especially on stage. I don't know, like over the last sort of 5 or 6 years, maybe after COVID, once it came out and had the leggings surgically removed after lockdown. I just totally lost confidence in what I was wearing on stage. I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to wear on stage or how to present myself. And it's the biggest thing in my mind before every single gig. I'm just like, and I get really caught up in it. So is that common?
Oh my
Am
God.
I normal?
So common.
Yeah.
You're so normal. Go on, let me dress you for the next one, though.
Okay.
That would be class.
Definitely.
I would love
well,
that.
It's tonight, so I think that's maybe a wee bit short notice, but no. But
Give
I'll
me a
tell
bit
you
of
the next
time.
one. Yeah. No, I will, definitely. We can record it and everything.
Give me a wee shout out.
Yes.
But yes, that's so common, especially with the kind of catchment of women that I work with, because life takes over. Like you focus on your career, you focus on maybe your kids if you've had children, you just take a back seat, and the last priority is how you dress and how you present yourself.
Yeah.
But the quickest way to feeling better about yourself can be through how you dress and how you present. And actually, that's what I should have said about the Hype Queens. It's like we're the kind of perfect dovetail, because Virginia works from the inside out and I work from the outside
Perfect.
in kind of way.
Yeah.
So like if you dress better, you hold yourself better, you feel better, and whether you like it or not, you're telling a story about yourself through how you dress.
Yeah.
And like if you work with a stylist, you can control that narrative and control like how people perceive you. And it's not superficial. Like it's a really, really quick fix. I love doing a visualization exercise whenever I'm doing group work, and it helps take people back to the last time they felt really good in something they were wearing. And it's like take in the environment, take in how you were feeling, take in how the fabric felt against your body. And it's like people kind of maybe go way far back and they're like, it was maybe my wedding day was the last time, and it could be like 20 years ago. And it's just like, but that feeling's accessible to you every single day through what you choose to wear. And if you can be intentional with it. And also working with a stylist helps see you through fresh eyes, because you get so boxed into this is my area of comfort.
And I can't wear anything else.
And as you get older, that tends to get smaller and smaller. And like you can see in wardrobes that I'd be looking at, it's maybe like 20 black tops of different like cuts and different shapes and sizes. It's just like, does that bring you joy? You know, does that make you feel good? And even if you can't get away from the black, adding a wee pop of colour just makes all the difference. Even like I'm wearing all grey today, but even just wearing a bit of lipstick just makes a difference. But if you don't wear lipstick, don't wear lipstick. You know, don't force yourself. It's like just tuning into what works for you and sitting with your own individuality. And I don't think we give ourselves permission to do that, because we're within systems that try to sell us stuff, and like fundamentally women have to think they're broken, so they buy shit to fix that and you know, fill that gap. And it's like, you don't actually need to buy stuff, just sit with yourself.
And I think a lot of people get, I know as I used to actually enjoy going out clothes shopping, and I hate it now. If I don't really go out to go clothes shopping anymore, because I suppose a lot of people buy stuff online now anyway. But it's, you don't like trying on clothes. And I mostly if I'm clothes shopping, I'm in Tesco's. I'm just like, got my, like, because I have a song that says I buy my shoes and meat in the same place now. That's because I'm in my 40s. So, but you start to, and it's all about how you say it, I suppose. But I would look at everything and be like, none of this is for me. Like, none of these clothes have been designed with me. Like, there's a lot of crop tops I'm not going to be wearing. But so would you sort of get people to look at what they already have, as well as, it's not just about like, oh, we'll go out and buy a whole new wardrobe. It's looking what you already have.
It's a mix. Like, it depends what service. But half the time, if I'm doing, say, a wee style refresh for a client, I'll source items, but I source them online, and then like I section them out. I bring them in the client size, and then the client buys them. They come to their home. It's a far better environment to try on clothes, because you can, you know, put on a wee bit of fake tan if it's something more dressy, or see what you look like with different heels, different shoes. You know, you've options. Like, the shops are such a harsh environment.
Oh my God.
And like, they're usually, the sales assistants are younger people, like in their maybe 20s, 30s, they've smaller bodies. You know, and you just feel really allergic to that environment. The lighting. The lighting is horrific. The down lighting highlights every flipping hair you might have.
Sorry, are you performing surgery on me later?
Like,
because this is ridiculous.
It's so harsh.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's going to look good?
I know.
In an item in that environment. So it's really nice to be able to have it in your home, try it on, and also like if it's out of your comfort zone, keep it for a wee while, you know, see if it is just like it's a different silhouette for you, or if it's something you can, you know, learn to kind of like, or, you know, with a couple of try-ons. So that's what I work with. And also, like, often whenever I would have that list, maybe clients are like, I actually have something like that in my wardrobe, but I bought it for this. I think people can get boxed into, well, that goes with that top. And that's the only way they see it. Is like, I would never have thought of trying it with that, but that actually makes sense. And I do like a wee like mini wardrobe edit or a refresh for clients as well. I love the wardrobe edit because I get in and it's like 90 minutes and I have a wee hook through their wardrobe and I'm like, right, this and this pairs of that, and they're like, oh my God, I never thought of that before. Or it's like, if you cut the arms off that, if you wear that back to front, and it's like,
if you what?
I never thought that was even possible. It's like, you've so much that you just don't see because they just don't have that kind of vision for what's in their wardrobe. So it's a wee mix of everything.
You see, well, first of all, I have another barrier to get over, which is that I can't stop buying hoodies. So you would, my wardrobe is horrendous. It's like a clothes monster at the minute, because there were bits and pieces of like dresses and shirts once upon a time, and now it's just pure, because I work from home a lot as well, and you just get in, we don't even go out as much as we used to, so you're like, what's the point? I'll just stick my wee hoodie on. What you were saying about the shop assistants, the last time I tried on something, and it was in kind of like a posh shop, was all dresses and things. So I can't remember what this was for, but it was for something. And I wasn't really paying, they weren't speaking to me and I wasn't speaking to them, but I came out of the dressing room to look at what I was trying on. And she appeared behind me and she went, "Oh, I'll get you that in a bigger size." I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And I actually, like, I'm not blind. I know when something doesn't fit, but I was like, I don't think that fit fine. And that was me out of the shop. I was like, nope. Yeah. But like, Jesus Christ. I know. They can't help it. They're young. It'll come to them too.
At least they weren't just telling you look great on it regardless, just to get the sale.
Yes,
there used to be a shop in Derry, Foster's. I don't know if it's still about, but they had mirrors outside the changing room, so you were forced to come out, and there was like always like a couple of attendants
just telling
and they
you
were like, "Oh
great.
my God, you look there's gorgeous in you, there's pure beautiful in you," and it was just like, it looks like a cat sucked on me. Just like, yes. No, like I have eyes in my head.
Yeah.
Like, you're not convincing me that this looks gorgeous on me.
Like the zip doesn't go up the back, and they're like, "That's perfect.
That is pure gorgeous on you."
Yes.
No, it's not.
I know. That's like when I went wedding dress shopping, I only went to 2 shops, and the second one, the woman was so mean. And it's only that I love the dress that I bought it from her, but my God. And I think she was just like, well, I don't want anyone leaving here with the wrong dress. But it destroyed me. Like everything I put on, she'd just be like, no, that's a no. That's a hard no. And I'd be like, but I like it. I'm not marrying you. But yeah, so people don't realise how they don't realise how much that can kind of like pierce through.
And I think that's where I'm different as a stylist. Mm-hmm. Like, I am about the individual, I'm about who you are, and I just want you to dress in a way that makes you feel good and amplifies your personality. It's never about trends, it's never about like what's in the store, it's never about buying new things. It's just like, it's just tuning into you and helping you access that joy that's in your clothes. Like.
Yes. And so working together as the hype queens, I know you would do it in sort of different, like over different periods of time, so you could have like a one-off session. Is what can you get done in a really short space of time? Like, can you make a real in terms of hyping somebody up and getting them unstuck? Can you do that quite quickly?
Yeah, but I think for us, and that was part from the beginning, was that sometimes after our own calls, we're like, if we could bottle that, sometimes I know...
Speaking to each other?
Yeah. I feel like... Or even with other friends, and I know sometimes we hang up and I'm like, oh, I know Nuala's smiling, so I'm texting her. And I know, like, we're both like, you know. And is that feeling of somebody that reminds you to believe in yourself?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you don't need a lot for that. I mean, I think you just need somebody that in a kind but challenge will maybe shake you a bit and be like, hey, we don't do that, or like, that's not yours to carry, or let's understand what's coming from. And sometimes you're blocked about the way you look, or about something in you that you're like, ugh, or something in your life that you just... something feels very, very big.
Yes.
And then you start pulling the thread and be like, okay, well, let's just pull this and then where it brings us, because there's things that you cannot do alone.
Yes.
Because you just keep doing the same thing over and over because that's the tools you have.
Yes.
And I think sometimes bringing fresh perspective and somebody that feels from the get-go that they're on your team and is like, okay, we are already starting the call, already on your team and already excited about who you're going to be after this call, or where are you going to be after this call.
Yeah.
And I think that energy does not need to be, very long. And of course, we have other programs in which we also add, or other ways to work with us that, add more things for you to do. Like, I don't want to call it homework, but, more self-staying, in which there's deeper work to go. But... Or even deeper, we have different layers of depth that you can go. But we also know that sometimes what people need is that fast track, shaking energy that just remind you and got you back to yourself. Very like, look, yes. And I can do this. And
it's so powerful just to have, like, I'm just picturing what it would be like to sort of like for you two to sort of pop up in front of my screen, just being like, you're amazing.
Well, Teresa.
And come on. Do you find, so Virginia, you're from Madrid.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And do you think there's a real tendency with women in Northern Ireland in particular that sort of suffer with this more? Or is this this is everywhere?
It's very interesting because I think there are things that all women or most women cross cultures suffer from or are suffer from sounds a bit dramatic, but are conditioned about or they carry. But there's also things that are very specific to Northern Ireland. I find that, and I understand them. I understand where they come from, and I have a lot of compassion if you made, but there is such a real fear of standing out.
That's interesting.
And we've been taught that though.
Yes.
And you have, and you've been like, it wasn't safe. I think there is a real sense of like, there is not safe to stand out. The whole keep your head up, put your head
name
up.
even.
Just like, just don't be that person. And I remember even with dealing with other parents in the school, can you just go and tell them, the teacher this? I'm like, but but you can't too. It's like, oh no, because I don't want to be that parent. I don't want to be that mother. I don't want to be that friend. I don't want to be that person. So there's a narrative that the more you stand out, the more you are at risk. So even if it's unconscious, it's in the fabric of the society, and it's. And sometimes that unsafety, and again, it's that thing that it's real.
Yes.
Whenever people stand out, the others are uncomfortable as well. So sometimes there is a rejection of the people standing out. A bit like, who does she think she is?
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, so that is also real. It's not only in our heads, that is real. But it's back to the choose your heart. Well, I can choose to be I'm choosing, who the hell, I am this person.
Yes.
I can choose to live my best life, understanding that there might be a social penalty, or I can choose to just hide myself because it feels safe and just wander all my life.
That's actually interesting to be like, no, I'm going to choose this and accept that there might be a little bit of,
and it will,
a little bit of that. Yeah, it's not like you're lying to people saying nobody will think anything differently.
And I think that's the problem. I think sometimes we tell people like, this is only happening in your head. It's like, no, it's not.
Yes.
Sometimes it's true.
Yeah.
And that is not. I find it patronizing as well that we always tell women. And it feels almost gaslighty, like when we tell women almost like, oh, this is all in your head. If only you go up there and tell them, if you only this is, it's like, it's not true. Sometimes you're going to do all those things and yet it might not happen, or yet people are going to criticize it. But do you have the tools? Do you have the confidence? Do you have the community? Do you have the space to deal with the bad negatives because you want to live your best life, even if it comes at a price?
Yes.
We're judged regardless. Like.
That's true as well, actually, yeah.
So you might as well be judged for doing something you actually like.
Might as well be happy. I know, and be judged. It's so true. And it's not, there's something, I don't know if it's very sort of Northern Ireland only, but there's something about being confident and doing well that we all feel is a bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
That you're not supposed to, that we're supposed to be all like, oh God, no. It's like even taking compliments. Like my mum can't take a compliment on something she's wearing without telling you how much it cost in the charity shop. You know, she'll be like, I don't want you thinking I've got real notions about myself and I'm out shopping. You know, she'll be like, $4.99, cancer focus. But we are really, it's really like, it's hard to kind of constantly, you might be able to do it once. I might be able to sort of catch myself thinking that way and not, but it's doing it consistently is really challenging.
But it's also how beautiful is to role model that for each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things like I think that we do for each other. I think we accept compliments like
I'm great.
We
at taking
tell each
compliments.
other.
Yeah.
And
like, I love your skirt. I'm like, thank you, isn't it great?
But so important.
Yeah.
And we that genuinely celebration of each other. Like I never want you to be a smaller. You never want me to be a smaller. And surround yourself and make that possible for others. Like, oh, well, she accepted a compliment and nothing happened, you know, or, oh, I show up like this and it was fine and I want more of that. So I think sometimes whenever we do something that's a bit scary or it's a bit like, oh, we're doing it for us and for everybody that is watching and feels like, oh, that's available.
Yes.
That is available. We can access that.
Yes.
So, and I think that gives you that extra permission as well, because sometimes, again, we've been socialized that doing things for ourselves is selfish. But whenever you have to do it for everybody else, then it's like, I can do that. I can be that hero for, especially with kids.
Yeah.
Whenever you tell somebody like your kids are watching, do you want your daughter to always be like, oh, or you want your daughter to be like, Yes.
I know. Because we're so much more conscious now of even talking about things like weight and your body in front of, because and it's not a criticism of like my mum's generation, but they lived through the 70s and 80s where they were just being pummeled with ads for, Slim Fast, the Kellogg's diet, all of that. And I think everybody's mummy was on a diet for most of their childhood.
My mummy had made Weight Watchers whenever I was 14.
Oh no.
Like, yeah.
that's another level.
Maybe 16.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But that was her projecting her unhealthy relationship with her own body onto me.
Yeah. But and nobody would have thought twice about talking about that. But like I don't have children, but even just with my niece and nephews, if I was speaking to them, and my sister would be very conscious of this as well, about not talking about your own weight or your own body in a negative way, to sort of be like, oh, if I could just get a stone off, I'll be fine, because it all goes in.
And it's wild. It's like everybody is acceptable, like totally. Like, and I have worked with clients from size 8 to size 32 and everything in between. And honestly, like the woman at a size 8 maybe has more insecurities than the woman at a size 32.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when do we give ourselves a break?
I know.
And it's like, we have to be able to accept our bodies as they are. And especially in current times as well, when thin is really in now, with like the rise of like Ozempic and whatever else. But it's just like, we're more than just our weight or our dress size. It's just like, we're people and we deserve to take up space regardless of how much space that is.
Yes, exactly.
But it is really difficult.
The weight loss jabs and everything, I don't judge anybody who wants to use that. You do you. But the one that really got me was Serena Williams advertising it.
Yeah.
And there's someone who's she was like one of the top athletes in the world at one point, and just embodied for me just strength. And to see her kind of like, I mean, I don't know what her reasons are for wanting to lose weight or for slimming down, but that was the one where I was like, oh my God.
Not you.
It's really not you. No.
Yeah. She was just such a healthy version of what a woman could be. And it was just like it was powerful, it was strong. And it was just like, oh no, I prefer skinny. I'm like, okay.
I know.
Okay.
But it's it's the advertising of it as well. But anyway, but it so in terms of styling and things like that, was that something you were always really, really into, or did you just did it evolve, or what? How did you get into it?
Literally born just like being mad about style and fashion.
You always have been.
Clothes. Like literally, Teresa, whenever I was a kid, I remember being bought snow boots, like real practical, fur-lined, waterproof snow boots.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely raging because I wanted the tassely ones with the heels. And I was about 6.
Practical.
And exactly. And I got the practical ones and I never had them on my feet. And I was about 6 years of age. What a wee prick. But any shoes that I did get, I remember I used to take them to bed with me so that I would wake up and they'd be the first thing that I would see in the morning.
Oh my God.
Like, I just loved it. And like literally in P7 we went to Alton Towers as part of our school trip, and there was like a gift shop and I bought every piece of jewellery I could afford. And I came back and I remember they were slagging me off on the bus because I looked like a Christmas tree. That's kind of still my ethos. So it is. It's just wear as much as possible. It's like, and it just brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been my career path. So I messed around for ages trying to kind of figure out what I wanted to do in life. I thought about psychology for a wee while. Well, I actually started a degree in psychology and I dropped out, but I was always creative.
Yeah.
So I did a degree in graphic and multimedia design.
Oh, wow.
And I was a graphic designer for years. Then I moved into marketing, and I was kind of like just always longing to do fashion or something to do with styling, but just didn't have the confidence. And like on nights out, I would have been in the toilets telling all the other women how great they looked in their outfits, or like helping them with like their makeup or fixing their tops or whatever else, and just like gushing over each other. And then but I kind of took the safe route and got a job, but it was always just there in the background. And I worked with a career coach, and she went back to like the Simon Sinek your why, and she was like what is your why? And I was really struggling to find what that was, and she's like, well, what did you want to do in childhood? And I was just like, I was a fashion designer, or I didn't know a stylist was a thing. And then also because my weight kind of fluctuates as well, and I'm fuller figured, and at that point I was even fuller figured, because I wasn't in a happy place. And she said, and I was like, I don't know that I could give convincing fashion advice, and this would have been back in 2000. And she was like, what do you mean? She was like, oh my God, women need a realistic, woman that they can relate to.
Yeah.
Like, that is so needed. And she was like, I would love to work with you. And she was like my first client.
Oh, wow.
And that is my USP, actually, is being able to relate with women.
Yes.
And because it is quite vulnerable working with a stylist, and it is about your body and about your size and about what suits your shape.
Yes.
So I'm asking a lot of my clients, and I suppose I give a lot of my vulnerability into that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, so I haven't kind of went through a fashion route.
Yeah.
But I actually think my experience lends itself more to what I do, because at the end of the day, graphic design is all about like colour, balance, aesthetics. It's all about kind of like layout, and then marketing is about creating a connection between the audience and your product or service.
Yes.
And I think whenever we get dressed, that's all we're doing. If you combine all of that together, like, we're telling a story through how we present ourselves. And I don't have the conditioning of like body shape analysis, colour analysis. I find that a wee bit problematic, because I think it's just boxes that we have to shoehorn ourselves into.
So that's not something I'm not familiar with. So colour analysis, is this where people say this is the colours you should wear, nothing else? In other words, not these ones, these ones.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And it is problematic, because I've had clients with like wee tiny swatches, and they're like holding the swatches up to clothes in the shop, and it's just like,
oh wow,
yeah, they're driving themselves insane.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's just like, well, these are the colours that work for me.
Yeah.
And I've had like clients where maybe they had their colours done years ago, but like your complexion changes as you get older, and they're maybe dressed like head to toe in purple. And it's just like,
yes. When was this ever good? Yes.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, the colour analysis is done in such a false environment. Like, your makeup's taken off, your hair scraped back, there's a lamp put in front of you, and they're holding like these swatches of material. It's just like, when am I ever going to be in this
I'm not
environment?
feeling at my best. It's like being in the hairdressers when your hair's wet. You sit there and you look like a wee drowned rat, and they leave you in a mirror for 20 minutes. You're like, just take me out the back and kill me. This is this girl doesn't deserve hair. No, but isn't that amazing that it's kind of what you guys are now offering to other people, is you needed somebody to kind of make you stop for a minute and really think about what you wanted. And it's interesting how many people are maybe still connected to what they wanted to be when they were kids. And that's where because that's your gut, really. You're not really that, well, maybe you are a bit influenced at that point. If everyone's going, I want to be a secretary. And I think at one point I did want to be a nun.
Stop it.
Yes. Only because my mum told me I was named after a Saint Therese who was a nun. And I was like, well, then I should be a nun too, mother. And then I found out what nuns were like, and I was like, no, thank you. And,
not for me.
And but I wanted to be like a paediatrician and stuff like that. And then obviously I just wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be Bette Midler, essentially.
Class.
Very specifically, I wanted to be Bette Midler. But so I didn't do any sort of real, like, obviously comedy, not at all, but like really putting myself out as a performer until I was in my 30s. And it takes something else to kind of, so I was in a job that I left and was unemployed for a wee bit of time, and it was the first time I'd been without work for like 20 years or whatever, 15, 20 years. And you find you're so attached, you get so much status from what your job title is. When you suddenly don't have one, you're just like, oh, it's felt like the bottom fell out. Where I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, not single, mid-30s, moving back in with my parents. I was like, well, things are going great. So this is just how I dreamed it. And that's when I started comedy. So it's funny when you get to those places that you're sort of like, right, everything else is stripped away here. What do you actually want to do? So, oh God, yeah. Oh, I'm so motivated. Oh.
It's like the Jim Carrey quote, doesn't it, about his dad? Like, he could have been a really successful comedian, but he chose the safe job.
Oh, about
the
his
accountant.
Dad? Oh, right, yes.
And then he was let go from that safe job. So it was like, you might as well do what you really love anyway.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, if what I read on the internet is true, we're all going to lose our jobs to AI shortly anyway.
That's not true.
I know. Well, I don't know. I'm very gullible.
World War III will kill us first.
True. Yeah, probably.
Optimistic, sure.
Or me with a smashed glass. I will die on this podcast.
This is actually really tasty, but I'm scared to drink
The
out
drink
of it.
is gorgeous, but I can't. Now that you've pointed it out, I don't know how to drink out of it either. It's a bad design. Primark.
Yeah, who thought Primark would be badly
You have
designed?
to make sure you get the wee scallop. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Virginia, you brought gifts, both of you, which is very nice. Please take note, future guests. I got flowers, and Virginia brought me a copy of her book.
Yay.
So, writing out loud. A Year Through My Lens, a collection of personal essays. So this isn't your first publication, you were telling me? No?
No.
It's your most recent, I should
Yes.
say. Stick it here.
And I was thinking whenever you were talking about childhood, actually, that I always wanted to have the craziest jobs and a writer. I would want to be like a firefighter and a
You didn't want to just be one thing.
But it was always something and a writer. And
okay.
I guess I published my first book when I was 10, and I did a story and wrote it and told my mom to print me a lot of copies in her workplace, and then we bind it and we gave it to people, and it was like, and sometimes now people tell me like, I still have your books, like, don't show me, don't show me.
What was the first book called?
That one,
Yeah.
it was called Los Pelusos.
Okay.
It was like about just some creatures in the forest and wherever.
Yeah.
What does that mean in English? Sorry.
It's just like a name that I made up about little animals or wherever. They were not animals, but anyway, it was just, and I have written always.
Yes.
I wrote 2 children's book, bilingual children's book. One about gender stereotypes and the other one about consent in a very age-appropriate way.
Yeah.
Just to bring those conversations to the house. And then my traditionally published book, Childhood Unlimited, that I was telling you about all how early conditioning starts.
Mm-hmm.
But this book and the first one, which is called Through My Lens, it's a compilation of my writing in Substack. So every Sunday in Substack, I have a newsletter, and at 9 a.m. it lands in the subscribers, and it can be about anything.
Yeah.
So I just write about realizations that I have, or about funny stories that happened to me, or about what I've learned in therapy. I was writing one recently, the 3 things I've learned in 3 months of therapy, or a lot of feminist takes on things that are happening in the world. And then I compile all those at the end of the year, and I just make a book, and it just get illustrated inside. And yeah, it just feels very special for me to be able to, because it's a very vulnerable book.
Yes.
And it just gives me so much space. I guess the other book or the other things that I do in life sometimes feel very, you are a gender equality expert, and that's what you talk about. While this one, it feels like this is just front row of who I am and what I'm thinking and what,
So, and where can people get it?
So they can buy it on Amazon or on the Feminist Shop.
Okay. Thefeministshop.com. So that's that's yours as well. Yeah, and tell us about that. What can you get on thefeministshshop.com?
But you can get a lot of merch, including fan stuff that Nuala has designed.
Oh, amazing!
And other artists, but just we call it wearable activism, T-shirts and postcards and mags and things like that. The idea is that they spark conversation and make a statement. And we used to have 500 titles of books, but we just have to drop it down because people only buy on Amazon, and we're just losing money. But my books are still all there.
Class. So I think hopefully you'll. This is true. Do you think it's healthy to laugh at yourself whenever you embarrass yourself?
I think it's the only way.
Yeah, I agree. I do love talking to people about embarrassing stories because, I find it. I do meet a lot of people through doing this as well who are a bit like, oh no, I don't really get embarrassed. I'm like, is everything okay? Are you okay? Do you have any embarrassing stories that you would be willing to share?
I have so many, Teresa, but I don't know if they're like safe to speak about.
Well, change names and have a crack, and we'll tell you. We'll cut it out if it's not.
Stories.
Yeah. Well, do you embarrass yourself regularly, or do you? I feel like you don't. You two. I think you're both really centered and.
No.
Actually, right. I have one I can share. Right. So this was a couple of years ago. Me and my sister and my niece were down the Redcastle Hotel in Donegal, and they had like this deal where if you booked for 3 nights, you got like an evening meal or whatever in their restaurant. Also, Teresa, I love my food, and I was particularly hungry this evening, and it was like a set menu that we could order from, and it was all a wee bit fancy. I don't know if you know the Redcastle,
Yes,
like Edge restaurant, and I ordered the chicken, and the chicken came down, and like I have small hands, Teresa, and the breast of chicken was about the size of the palm of my hand.
Okay.
And I was starving, and I was raging.
Oh, I
like
feel
I got
this.
such like
Yep.
food rage.
Yep.
And then I said to the waiter, I was like, "That's not enough chicken." And he was like, "What? Like what? What do you want me?" I said, "That's not enough chicken." I
Yeah.
was like, that portion's too small.
Yeah.
That's not going to fill me. And then I was like, "Well, do you want to order something else?" And I was like, "I just want more chicken.
I just want a bigger
I
chicken.
just want more chicken. Just get me more chicken." And like he was embarrassed, my sister was embarrassed, and like I was just
Maybe you're starting to come apart at the seams. Just like,
raging.
more chicken.
like I was raging. And then he says, "Right, well that's grand, I'll get you more chicken." And then like about 20 minutes later, he came out with a full other meal, like the exact same
thing
meal.
again.
And I was just like, "That's grand, thank you." Like, because I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, so I had to sit and eat
2 full
all
dinners.
2 full dinners. And then because it was a set meal, we had dessert as well. My niece was only wee at the time and was on a really strict schedule, so she had to go to her bed. And then I was like, "Can I get dessert to take away?" And
I'll take
like,
2.
well, I had to get mine and my sister's because she was away to bed. So I was just at this table by myself eating the last of my chicken. And
Like
then,
Henry VIII, just like
swear to
legs of
God.
lamb.
I swear to God. And then like they landed down with these big massive satellite dishes with the dessert, with like a wee tiny like
yeah.
sticky toffee pudding in the middle.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Can you put those into Tupperware so that I can take them up to my room?" Because I had to bring it up to my sister. And then he came out and he goes, "We don't have Tupperware." And I was like, "Well then can you get me a tray?" So then I just
Put it on the chicken. Do I have to think of everything?
So then I had this big massive tray with 2 big satellite plates with these wee tiny desserts in the middle, and I was still like raging, but I had calmed down because I was like satiated, and I was just like, "Thank you so much for the extra chicken, and I'm really sorry I got a wee bit hangry there." And he was just like, And then I had to make it back up to the room, through all the fire doors
2 big
with these
desserts.
2 big desserts.
She loves her food. My husband hates eating out with me for this very reason. And I've gotten better at it over the years, but especially if it's really expensive.
Exactly.
You're just like, that's not enough. And we, so this was like the year before we got married. We were at someone else's wedding, and the night before we were out somewhere, and I ordered a steak, right? And it came and it was really overdone, really, really well cooked. And, but it was not cheap, right? And I was already stressed out at how much money we were spending to be away for this wedding. And I said to Fraser, "I think I'm going to send this back." And he's like, "No, please. Oh my God, no." And I was like, "I can't eat it." It was like charred through, and I was like, "I can't eat it." And he was like, just eat it. And I was like, "Fine, okay. Well, I won't make a scene." So I ate the steak, and you see, relenting on that decision, that ruined my friend's wedding, because that's all I could think about was the fact that I hadn't sent that steak back, right?
Yeah.
And I was still talking about it at the wedding the next day, and Fraser was like, "For the love of God, let it go." And I was like lying in bed that night, and I couldn't sleep because I was literally thinking to myself, I should have sent back that steak, right?
I would have been exactly the same.
So we made a joke about it at the time, where he was like, "I swear to God, you're going to be on your deathbed and you're going to be like, should have sent back that steak." So the next year, it was about 6 months later, we were getting married, and we did this thing where we did like a wine. We did a box that had wine in it, and we put 2 letters in it. We did like a wine box ceremony, right? So at the wedding, we had a nice bottle of wine. We both wrote letters to each other, and we put it in the box and sealed the box. And the idea was that we would open it on our 5th wedding anniversary. And the woman who was marrying us had said, either open it on your 5th wedding anniversary, or if your marriage is in trouble, open it then, drink the wine and read the letters, and you'll remember why, right?
Oh, nice.
So both of us were like, right, we're going to write these letters. And I was like, now, are we doing it properly, or are we just going to be like trying to be funny? And he was like, no, I'm going to do it properly. And I was like, yeah, me too. And we were both right. And I wrote mine. And it was mainly nice, but I was like, I'll put a wee funny thing in just to make him laugh at the end. And we opened them on our 5th wedding anniversary, and my letter to Fraser started with, "We should have sent back that steak."
I love that.
I was like,
so good.
"Let it go."
Never.
6 years later, should have sent back that steak. So,
That's
but he
so
knew exactly what
good.
it. This is why I married him, because he was like, "Yeah, that's very funny. That's playing the long game."
Oh,
Love that.
I wrote nice things as
Clever.
well. But anyway, but yes, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to put a wee question to you here about some would you rathers. Okay, so 2 embarrassing things here, and you tell me which one you would rather do. So, would you, both of you, would you rather have your search history online published or your teenage diary?
I don't have a
Search
search diary,
story.
so that one.
What did you say, Virginia?
Say search story.
Search it. Oh, really? Oh, your
Yeah.
teenage, is your teenage diary, is it
I-
long? It
It
hasn't been published, I take it?
No, but you know, whenever you read it, sometimes I do have it and I keep it, and every time I read it, I'm like, fuck, I was intense from birth.
I can imagine.
So no, like I'll keep that.
Oh, it's
for
just
my-
really intense, is it? Very much railing against the world.
Not even. It
No.
was just like just intense. Like just no.
You didn't have a teenage diary?
No, but I remember like writing poetry and putting it under my mum and daddy's bedroom door.
Oh my God, you're so dramatic.
And it was ignored.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, she's not from Dungiven. Talk about notions.
What was the poetry?
I don't
about?
know. It was very
If
deep.
something had upset you or moved you, you were like, it's time to put pen to paper.
These two need to know this.
And was it sort of like all rhyming, or was it sort of
No,
quite
it's deeper
abstract?
than that.
Oh
Like,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
It wasn't like there was a young girl from Dungiven.
No, not fun. No lyricism.
Oh, do you not? Do you
It was
have
like-
it? Do you still have any of them? of those
Absolutely not.
poems?
No,
Oh
I've
my
blanked it from my
God.
memory. Like I can't remember anything from about 12 years and younger. So yeah.
But you still have yours. You would still.
yeah.
Do you still dip into it every now and then?
Every now and then,
See how far you've come.
yeah, but it's also like, even all the stupid things of like, I'm gonna list all the guys that I like from 1 to 10.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So it's
Start
like,
rating system.
and then I will make notes for myself. Like, I talk with these brackets number 6. Like,
Oh yeah.
Like,
You're writing
it's
in
just-
code.
it's just like, like you get the ick of yourself.
I
like,
know.
ick.
Oh, how did you have friends? I know.
Yeah.
I have 2 that I found a couple of years ago. One of them was the really intense one and I kept it when I was like 14, and it's really just, it's pathetic. You sort of, at one point I thought, oh, this would be really funny. I'm going to do some material about this. And I brought it on stage, and I would be like, and reading bits out, and like nobody was laughing. Everyone was just like, that's just very sad. How did you have friends? So it's just a lot about me. Sort of like, no, I don't have any friends today. Maybe I will sometime. Oh, please don't make it worse. And then listing, and like my favourite boys are, and then it would all be like Ryan Giggs. It would just be like,
I love that.
there's someday I'll marry him. But that was one type of diary. The other one that does make me laugh was one I had when I was like 11, and it's a wee Snoopy diary, but it's only got enough to, it's like one of those wee appointments diaries, it's really tiny. There's no space. But I, for some reason, when I was 11, thought I would write a diary entry and something that can hold 2 sentences. And all of it is things like what I had for dinner, right? And what else was going on in the world. So it would be things like I'd be like, I had omelette and chips today. And then I'd talk like for 2 or 3 sentences about the omelette and chips, what was in the omelette. Brackets at the bottom would be like, my wee brother Peter's in hospital having heart surgery or something like that. Or like brain surgery. It was something really like, there was always something massive going on in the background, but I was like, but at least I got chips. I got chips. And then an ongoing saga about why my parents wouldn't get me a hamster. So every other day I was like, asked again about a hamster. Answer still no, but someday it will. Literally when I was 11, someday it will be mine. Someday it will be mine. Peter's back in hospital. So it's just like priorities. But yeah.
Did you ever get a hamster? Yeah.
No, I never. No, I didn't.
Oh,
No.
go and buy yourself a hamster on the way home.
Oh, I wouldn't want one now. It's like having a rat. What was I thinking?
This is true. They're kind of minus crack for pets, aren't they?
No. I don't know why.
Do you have a dog?
Oh yes. Love him dearly. I have a big Labrador.
I remember that.
He's a big aged. Yes. Actually, the hamster would have done less damage in our house. My dog has eaten so many things that like he's cost us a fortune, but at least that's our problem to deal with. But when we first had him, within the first year, he started nibbling at this 2-seater sofa that we had, and then he poked like a wee hole in it, and we were like, "Oh, that's cute!" Like it's a wee Andrex puppy, and then he just continued to pull at this hole. It was in a different room than we sat in, so we weren't really paying attention. And he ended up just chewed the whole sofa down to like the bare bones, like the wooden frame. And it was so bad. We were like, right, we'll have to get rid of this. And obviously, no more. We're not giving him a sofa anymore. And I phoned the council, and they were like, "You're going to have to leave it out on the street. We won't come into your house to take it out." And I was like, I actually think I'd rather set fire to it. The state of this thing.
Your neighbour's seeing.
And I said, and so Fraser and I was like, we're putting it out in the street at night. Okay, so I had a sheet over it, and like we put it out on the front because I was like, looks like we've got a crack den in here or something. It's awful. So yeah, a hamster wouldn't have done that.
Wow. No.
Maybe it would have. Who knows? But listen, where can people find out more about? Where can people hire the Hype Queens or find out more about you?
So yeah, hypequeens.com is our website, and then we have an Instagram page as well. We are Hype Queens, is it?
We are the Hype Queens.
We are the Hype Queens.
Excellent. Are we? That didn't sound right.
We are
the Hype Queens.
Hypequeens.com is definitely
Yes.
the website. But you yourself to try and get a handle that makes sense. Like it's a little chore.
No. I guess if you just Google them, Nuala and Virginia Hype Queens, surely that'll come up. Thank you both so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Sorry for throwing a broken glass at your head.
No, not at all.
And for all the prezzies and everything. And I'll speak to you soon. Oh, you're going to style me for
yes, I'd love to.
A gig? Oh, definitely. We'll sort that out.
Yay.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you for having us.